Hi guys and welcome back. So we are here today for me to show you guys my foundation routine. I have super dry skin and I've really struggled with my routine for such a long time, but I have finally found something that really works for me. So I wanted to share it with you guys in case there's any of you out there that suffer with dry skin and have the same issues with applying your foundation that I do. So I'm really hoping this helps some of you. Before we actually get into the foundation and how I put it on and all that jazz, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I prep my skin first, because not only is that important for anybody with any kind of skin, but for us girls that have got dry skin, it is incredibly important to make sure that our skin is prepped and primed and ready for a good foundation routine. So to start off with, I use a scrub. Scrubs are important for anyone with any kind of skin, but for us dry girls out there, they are super important. Use whichever scrub that you like. I am currently using this one from Benefit and it's their Cleanse Refined Finish Facial Polish. That's a mouthful to say. Don't use it every day. It is not good to scrub your skin every day, no matter what skin type you have. So I use this kind of every 2 to 3 days, depending on how my skin is going. I did that this morning, just so you guys know, so my skin feels lovely and smooth. After that, before that, I like to do it afterwards because I end up with old makeup, you know, underneath my eyes, but it's cleansing your skin. Now you need to find a cleanser that is aimed at dry skin, mostly dry sensitive skin, and you know it's wrong if you have cleansed your skin and your skin feels super tight. So the one I am absolutely in love with and have been using for a while now is this one from Nivea, and it's their Essentials Sensitive 3-in-1 Micellar Water. You've probably heard a lot about micellar waters. I actually have a blog post comparing this one to the Garnier one and the Bioderma, so I will leave that below if you want to see it. This is my favourite. It is the most gentle on the skin. I use it every day in the morning and in the evening, and it doesn't leave me with that tight feeling on my skin. So use a gentle cleanser. You might have to search around to find your perfect one, but look for a gentle one that is aimed at people with dry skin. Next up is moisturizing. Again, super important. I use this one. It's from the Vitamin E range from the Body Shop, and I use a lot of their products. You're going to see a lot of those through this video as well. It's their Vitamin E Moisture Cream, and this is just their day cream. But their Vitamin E range is targeted at people with dry skin, and it really works. So if you haven't found something suitable, go and try something from the Vitamin E range from the Body Shop. They will even give you little testers if you don't want to commit to buying something before you've tried it. But I highly recommend the Vitamin E range from the Body Shop. Oh, and I dropped it on the floor. Last up is lips. Now, I have incredibly dry lips as well. Goes along with the dry skin. So I like to scrub my lips. And this I do every day. And this is actually my DIY lip scrub. I have an old video showing you how to make it. It's before I got my new camera and my lights and stuff. So the quality's not so great, but I will leave it linked down below for you anyway. You can still see what's going on and the recipe still works. Like I say, I use it every single day. So just use a scrub, any scrub you have. You don't have to make this one. Scrub your lips and then obviously get rid of it, and then what's essential afterwards is lip balm. Again, use any lip balm that you like. My absolute favourite is this one from Nivea, and it's their lip butter. This one's the vanilla and macadamia flavour. I don't know what I'm going to do when they stop making this, because this has changed the way my lips feel incredibly. I use this throughout the day. I use it in the night before I go to bed. I use it in the morning, and of course, especially after I've scrubbed my lips. So that is how I've prepped my skin. I have done all that stuff already to save a bit of time in this video, because we all know that I ramble a bit. The only other important thing I want to say to you is to make sure that when you've applied your moisturising cream, you wait at least 10 minutes before you start with your foundation routine. And that gives the cream a chance to sink into your skin and really work. So with that being said, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you can see what's going on, and we're going to get going with the foundation routine. Okay, so we're going to start with primer first. I think primer is important no matter what skin type you have. Pick your favourite primer. If you don't have one and you are shopping looking for one, just avoid anything that says mattifying, and that is going to be the key throughout any product that you choose. Avoid mattifying foundations. If you have dry skin like me, Your skin is already matte. It does not need any more help. Look for a hydrating primer, something that's going to hydrate the skin while it's doing its job. Pick your favourite one. I have a few, but I am just trying to use up this one. You can see it's almost finished. This is from L'Oreal and it's their Revitalift Magic Blur. Just apply this with your fingers. Now you can see me struggling to get this out because, like I say, it's almost done. So I have just a little bit here. Rub it in between your fingers. And then you want to start with the areas that you need the most help with. So for me, it's around my nose, around my chin, and kind of between my eyebrows. Then I'm going to use whatever's left on my fingers and just rub it around the rest of my face. If your aim is to, help cover up any enlarged pores, instead of rubbing the product, just try kind of patting it in. So that's what I like to do around these areas of my face. And then just rub it in around the rest. There is one product that I have forgotten to get out. This one. I cannot live without this. This is now a complete holy grail product for me. Again, it's from the Body Shop and it's their Radiant Highlighter. The packaging is a bit worn off now, but I love to put this on before my foundation. Again, dry skin girls, we tend to have a more kind of dull looking complexion and we want to bring back that luminosity, to have that healthy glow in your skin. So I always apply this after my primer. Same kind of thing, I just put a little little dot of it on my fingers, rub it in, and then I'm literally just going to put this over my whole face. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, I'm using my viewfinder as a mirror. So having that on, you can probably see already that it gives a lot of reflective light coming from the skin. So when you have this underneath your foundation, that shines through and it shines that light from within that we're obviously faking, but it really helps. If there's anything you feel like you need to go out and buy after watching this video, that is something that I highly, highly, highly recommend. So on to applying the foundation itself. Again, use whichever foundation that you like, is your favourite, matches your skin tone, all of that stuff. Just avoid the mattifying foundations again. I'm using this one from Yves Rocher. I really like it. It's a youthful glow foundation again, so it's the same kind of principle as the highlighting. First, it's going to bring out that luminosity to the skin. But I have a trick for you guys. I'm going to combine this with this. Now again, this packaging is looking kind of skanky because I've had this product for a long time, but I love it. This is also from the Body Shop again. Also from the Vitamin E range, and it's their overnight serum in oil. I do use this overnight as well, and it has dramatically changed my skin. But I'm actually going to mix a little bit of this with my foundation. That way it thins out the foundation so you don't get a cakey look, especially if you have any dry skin patches. But having that oil in with your foundation, you're also giving yourself a kind of skin treatment throughout the day while you're wearing your foundation. So all I'm going to do, some foundation here on the back of my hand, and if I can get any of this oil out because it's pretty much at the end, there we go. I'm going to put just 2 drops of this together with my foundation and quickly rub it in before it goes all over the place. So I've just rubbed all of that in to the back of my hand. And the next most important thing is a sponge. If you have dry skin, you do not want to be using a brush and buffing it into your skin. That's basically going to act like a kind of microdermabrasion, and it's creating small exfoliation, and if you have dry skin already, it's just going to make all of that skin stand up on end, and that is what we're trying to avoid. I love the Beauty Blender. If you don't have one, or you think it's out of your budget, there are plenty other options on the market. I know Real Techniques has one. I've not tried it. I've not tried any other sponge apart from the Beauty Blender. But just use any sponge that you like the most. Again, like I say, the Beauty Blender is my absolute favourite, but use a sponge. That is the message I'm trying to get across. And then what we're going to do is just pat the foundation into the skin. No rubbing, no pulling. We want to make sure that any dry skin flakes or patches that we have on our face are lying down, and that way they are a lot less visible. I always like to go over my eyes no matter what my foundation routine is. Even if I'm using a tinted moisturiser or something, I go over my eyes, onto the ears and down below the chin. So this is, you know, no different than your average foundation routine, but the key is here using the sponge and just tapping it in. Always start with a light layer. It is much easier to add more than it is to take away. And actually many people use more foundation than what they actually need. And we don't want our skin to look cakey. We want it to look healthy and glowing from the inside. Onto the forehead. Again, make sure you get it right back into the hairline. We don't want any kind of line around our face. That is never ever an attractive look. Okay, so that is the foundation on. Onto concealer. Same thing, use whichever concealers you like, just don't get anything that is gonna cause mattifying effects. I'm using this concealer from Essence. It's the Stay All Day 16-hour long-lasting concealer. Super cheap as well. If you guys have heard of the collection concealer that a lot of people on YouTube rave about, you can only get that in England, and I find that this is a really good dupe for that concealer. So if you are able to get your hands on the Essence one, go for it. Now I'm just concealing. I don't really have many spots or blemishes, which is a typical kind of trait for people with dry skin because they don't have that oil production, but I do have some discoloration in my face from like old scarring and things. Just some areas that I feel need the most coverage. So that's normally around the mouth, around the nose, and I like to get in between my eyebrows as well. Again, same thing, just pat it all in there. The great thing about using a sponge as well, you know, not only does it help for us girls with dry skin, but it actually leaves your skin with a really nice airbrushed kind of effect and finish. Now, I can see by my viewfinder my foundation probably doesn't quite look like it matches, but that is my studio lights. It actually matches in real life, I promise. I'm going to use a different concealer underneath my eyes. This one is the Rimmel Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer, and it's a concealer and highlighter in one. And it just spat all over my hand. So I'm just going to push some of that up and get it in that kind of triangular shape under my eyes, and then I always go in this little inner corner here, which gets very dark and blue for me. Hazards of being pale, hazards of having eye bags, you know, all those things, but thank you to makeup, we can cover those up. So again, same thing as before, just apply it, and then we are gonna pat it in with our beauty blender. You can also use your fingers, you know, there's nothing wrong with using fingers, especially to put on your concealer. Just the same thing, you would then just pat it in. I actually just find it quicker with a beauty blender than my fingers to do this. And it just helps it all blend nice and seamlessly together. Okay, so foundation and concealer done. Now this may shock you guys, but I am going to use powder. You might be thinking, powder? You've got dry skin, you are crazy. But just hear me out for a second. Of course, we've added the oil to our foundation. It might give you a bit more of a shine than you want, or it might, you know, aid in that kind of makeup slipping off throughout the day. So I want my makeup to stay. If I'm spending my time putting it on, I want it to hang around. I'm going to use powder, and I'm just going to use it in this area here. I will be using bronzer and blusher, which are powder products, so I'm not going to apply layer upon layer upon layer of powder. It is good, it's a very good idea to use cream bronzers and highlighters and blushes if you have dry skin, but it can totally work with a powder, and that's what I want to show you guys. So I'm just using this powder. It's from Yves Rocher, and it's just a loose powder. And I'm tapped a little bit into my lid, and I'm using my beauty blender. Just going to dab it in there and tap away the excess, and then I'm just going to again tap it on. No pulling, no tugging, no any of that. Get it around my nose. My nose is the place on my face that my makeup falls off the fastest for some reason, so. Okay, and that is all I'm going to do for powder. Like I said, I'm using a powder bronzer and a powder blusher. But hang on, and I'm also going to show you how you can combat any powderiness on your face. Onto the bronzer, another Body Shop product. This was not even intended, but they are just products that I love and I use all the time. This is their honey bronzer. You've probably seen other people talk about this. Now for the brush, this is also important. You don't want to use a dense, hard brush. You know, ouch, something like this. You know, it's pretty dense, it's pretty hard, and that's also not going to help with the dry skin. I'm using a big fluffy brush, and I'm just using a really light hand. I'm not going for any kind of dramatic contour. If I was, then I would be using a cream product, so I don't have to really rub at the skin. So I'm just getting a little bit on my brush. I am going to hit the kind of contour places of my face, but that is just to bring back some colour, as I'm now kind of one-dimensional from all of the foundation. And again, it's probably coming off harder on camera that I'm actually doing this in real life, but I'm actually being very soft on my skin. Take some of this underneath my chin. So it's a semi kind of what you would do with contouring, but more natural, nothing harsh. And then last up is blusher. Same kind of thing. If you're using a powder blush, nice gentle strokes. I'm using this one from Max Factor, and I have an angled blush Zoeva brush. It's called Lush Sheer Cheek Brush, it's called. I'm just going to apply this on the apples of my cheeks, so a little smile. And I'm just going to gently dab it on there. The thing I love about these blushes is they're not shimmery, but they are luminous again. So it's just bringing back that luminosity to the skin. And I may have gone a little bit crazy on this side. If you find that you've overdone your blush or something, just go back in with your beauty blender, and you can blend out those edges and kind of dampen down that colour a little bit. So if you've used powder products on your skin and you're worried that it's going to look cakey, that it's going to show off that dry skin, I have one more product for you guys, and yes, it is from the Vitamin E range from the Body Shop, but it is their face mist. I love to use this throughout the day quite a lot. You may have heard people talk about like Caudalie and stuff. It's the same kind of principle, and you're just going to hold it far from your face, close your eyes and spray. Now once that's dried, that's again just going to give you a nice glow. It's going to help to hold your foundation in place, and you're restoring back that moisture with the vitamin E. Okay, so this is what my face looks like with my foundation on. I'm going to finish off my makeup so you guys can see the full effect of what it looks like, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am done with the rest of my makeup, so you can kind of see what it all looks like put together, you know, when you would finish your makeup at home. I really hope that you guys found this useful and that I maybe helped some of you guys that might be struggling. If you are out there and you have dry skin and you have any other great tips or tricks, then please leave them in the comment section down below so we can all help each other, and hopefully maybe you can teach me a thing or two. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up video button at the bottom. And if you are new to my channel, hello and welcome. I hope you liked what you saw, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. That's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.